Late at night, a young woman finally leaves work after putting in extra hours. She spots a taxi first, but a group of guys grab it before she can, leaving her with no choice but to walk home. As she takes the dark road, a van pulls up beside her. The driver, Dushik, offers her a ride.
타세요. 큰길까지 태워드릴게요.
고맙지만 됐습니다.
이 시간에 택시 잡기 힘들어요. 그냥 타세요.
She refuses. Getting into a stranger's car is a bad idea. She keeps walking. Then she hears something strange. A muffled cry for help. She turns and sees the van's door slightly open. Curious and concerned, she steps closer. But when she looks inside, she doesn't find someone in distress, just a pile of clothes and a dead body. Before she can react, Dushik grabs her and drags her inside. She never makes it home. Later that night, Dushik calmly changes into clean clothes, calls 911, and pretends to be a horrified witness. When the police arrive, he puts on a convincing act, claiming he stumbled upon the bodies and saw a group of workers stabbing the woman. Meanwhile, Kim Kyung-mi, a deaf woman, works at a customer service center, helping other deaf and mute clients through video calls. Just like any call center job, she deals with rude customers. Some even mock her, thinking she won't notice. But she can read lips. Instead of reacting, she signs back insults, making them believe she's being polite. After work, she attends a company dinner where her male co-workers whisper inappropriate things about her, assuming she can't understand. She plays along, letting them think she's oblivious. Later, she picks up her deaf mother from work, saving her from an oncoming bike thanks to her car's sound sensor. Her mother is thrilled. She got paid well this month, and they can finally take that beach vacation they've been dreaming of. Across the city, Choi Seo-young is getting ready for a night out. But her older brother, Jong-tak, a security guard, isn't happy. Ever since their parents passed away, he's been overprotective, arguing with her about her outfit and what time she should be home. She promises to behave, but once on her date, she ignores her brother's texts and stays out later than she said she would. When she doesn't answer her phone, Jong-tak gets worried and goes out to find her. Meanwhile, late at night, Dushik is hunting for another victim. He spots Kyung-mi leaving her mother near an alarm post while she looks for a parking spot. He starts following her but then notices Seo-young walking down the same street and changes his target. He attacks Seo-young quickly and silently, so Kyung-mi's mother, who is walking in the opposite direction, doesn't notice a thing. After dealing with Seo-young, Dushik turns his attention to Kyung-mi's mother, but his plan keeps getting interrupted. First, Jong-tak shows up, asking the mother if she has seen his sister, and leaves when she says no. Then Kyung-mi returns from parking her car. On her way back, she spots a white shoe sticking out of a dark alley and hears faint cries for help, though she can't make out the words. When a second shoe appears, she decides to check. Inside the alley, she finds Seo-young, bleeding, crying, and begging for help. But before Kyung-mi can react, Dushik suddenly appears with an axe ready to attack. Seo-young pushes him away, giving Kyung-mi a chance to run. She dashes back to the street, sees her mother, and makes a split-second decision to run the other way to keep her safe. She rushes back to the parking lot, weaving between cars until she reaches a back door. The handle is old and squeaky, and as she carefully opens it, Dushik hears the noise and comes after her. Just in time, she slips through the door, but it's chained on the other side, preventing him from following. The gap is just big enough for her to escape, but too small for Dushik. Kyung-mi makes it to her car and quickly calls her mom, telling her to wait by the alarm post. But the moment she hangs up, she feels a chill. Dushik is in the back seat holding a knife. He orders her to drive. Instead of obeying, she speeds toward a wall, slamming the brakes just before crashing. The sudden stop gives her the perfect chance. She jumps out and runs for her life. Another chase begins, but Kyung-mi reaches her mom before Dushik can catch her. She presses the alarm button, forcing him to stay back. While they wait for the police, Dushik returns to his van, hides Seo-young's body, and changes his clothes and hairstyle to look like a businessman. Then, acting casual, he approaches Kyung-mi and her mom. Since Dushik was wearing a mask and hat before, Kyung-mi doesn't recognize him. He pretends to be looking for his sister, and she believes him. She almost leads him into a dark alley, but the police arrive just in time. However, the alley is empty. Kyung-mi asks to check security cameras, but the parking lot guard says kids turn them off while smoking. The police take Kyung-mi, her mom, and Dushik to the station to file a report. In the elevator, Dushik keeps glancing at the weapons in his bag. Kyung-mi's mother notices he doesn't look sad anymore. To keep up his act, Dushik takes out a black phone and pretends to receive a text from his sister, making it seem like she's alive. At the station, Kyung-mi gives her statement, but the officer says they can't do much without a body or a clear description of the killer. Dushik tries to add something, but the cop scolds him for interrupting. A homeless man nearby insults him, and Dushik sees an opportunity. He walks to the water cooler, quietly insulting the man so the officer doesn't hear. The homeless man gets angry and attacks Dushik. During the fight, Dushik drops a white phone. Kyung-mi's mom picks it up. After the officer pulls the man away, Dushik quickly takes back his phone and pretends to check Kyung-mi's statement to see her personal details. Kyung-mi's mother secretly signs to her that it's strange for Dushik to have two phones. When he notices them talking, he demands to know what they're discussing. Kyung-mi writes, "Nothing," but Do-shik moves closer to her mother, eyeing the weapons in his bag, deciding what to do next. A cop arrives with Jang-tak, who is looking for his missing sister. The officer asks him to show a picture to the others since the description matches Kyungmi's statement. Do-shik pretends he doesn't know the girl, but Kyungmi recognizes her right away and gives Jang-tak her statement. As she tries to share more details, the cop steps out to deal with a homeless man trying to re-enter the building. Seizing the moment, Do-shik threatens Kyungmi's mother, warning her to stay still or he'll harm her daughter. He then pulls a knife from his bag and moves toward Kyungmi. But before he can attack, the mother makes a loud noise, alerting the others. Jang-tak reacts quickly, stopping the knife just in time. A fight breaks out between the two men while the women run outside to call the police. During the struggle, Do-shik admits to hurting Seo-young, enraging Jang-tak. Furious, Jang-tak beats Do-shik and even holds the knife to his throat, demanding to know where his sister is. But before he gets an answer, the cops arrive. Do-shik plays the victim, and since the scene looks bad for Jang-tak, the officers arrest him instead. Do-shik walks away free. However, the police later check the security cameras and realize the truth. Meanwhile, Jang-tak goes back to the streets to continue his search. The police escort Kyungmi and her mother home, where they rely on motion-detecting lights for security. Later that night, the lights blink, making them nervous. It's really late. But it's just the mother's co-worker picking up some bags. The two older women leave together, leaving Kyungmi alone in the apartment. What she doesn't know is that Do-shik has arrived. He disables the sensor outside so the lights won't expose him. But as he steps inside, another sensor picks up his movement. When Kyungmi goes to check, Do-shik cleverly makes an alarm clock ring, tricking her into thinking that's what set off the lights. After returning to her room, Kyungmi texts Jang-tak, who had given her his card in case she needed help. Meanwhile, Do-shik shuts off all the remaining sensors in the house and grabs his axe, ready to strike. Just then, Kyungmi notices that a toy on the dresser has turned on, but the lights haven't reacted to it. Realizing something is wrong, she turns around just in time to dodge Do-shik's attack. She quickly runs to another room, blocks the door with a dresser, and sends a text to Jang-tak, telling him the murderer is there. She also messages her mom, warning her not to come home. But as soon as the door stops shaking, she gets a reply. Her mom is already there and found the door open. Panicking, Kyungmi starts moving the dresser back to help her, but then she notices something strange. The messages have perfect spelling, unlike how her mother usually types. That's when she realizes, Do-shik has her phone. She immediately stops moving the dresser just as he appears in the door gap. He reaches for her but she pulls back and locks the door. Do-shik doesn't stop. He starts hacking at the door with his axe. With no other escape, Kyungmi jumps out the window, but Do-shik grabs her by the hair as she falls. She struggles and finally breaks free, landing on a pile of trash. She takes off running with Do-shik right behind her. Moments later, Jang-tak spots them and joins the chase. After running through several blocks, Do-shik traps Kyungmi in a dead end. Just as he's about to attack, Jang-tak arrives. To stop him from interfering, Do-shik presses his own knife against his throat, threatening to kill himself, meaning Jang-tak would never find his missing sister. While Jang-tak hesitates, Do-shik sends him a text with Seo-young's supposed location, forcing him to choose between the two girls. Jang-tak apologizes to Kyungmi and rushes off to the address, her house. But it was a lie. The place is empty, and the only person he finds there is Kyungmi's mother. Kyungmi tries to grab a chair from the trash to defend herself, but Do-shik takes it and pins her down. As he talks to Jang-tak on the phone, mocking him for leaving her behind, Kyungmi quickly throws dirt in his face, pushing him off and running away. She reaches the street where his van is parked and sees Seo-young stepping out, holding a knife and asking for help. Meanwhile, Jang-tak and the mother arrive at the area but find it empty. The two girls hide behind a trash container in an alley. Kyungmi urges Seo-young to call 911, but she refuses, scared because Do-shik is nearby and has just realized there's no body in the van. Thinking fast, Kyungmi writes a message on her phone, telling Seo-young to call her brother since he's nearby. She then hands Seo-young the phone and takes the knife. When Do-shik turns his back, Kyungmi sneaks out of the alley and hides. Just as he is about to find Seo-young, she makes a strange noise and shakes a metal shutter to get his attention. She then holds the knife to her own neck, threatening to kill herself to deny him the satisfaction. Do-shik chases after her as she presses the alarm button on a nearby pole and starts running again. Seo-young calls her brother for help, and he and the mother rush to find Kyungmi with an ambulance. This time, Kyungmi runs toward downtown, hoping the crowd will make it harder for Do-shik to catch her. She struggles to cross the busy streets since she can't hear the traffic, but after a few close calls, she makes it to the other side and into a commercial area. She tries asking for help, but since she can't speak, people ignore her. As Do-shik gets closer, she pulls out the knife, making the crowd back away. A man attempts to call the police, but Do-shik quickly lies, saying she's his mentally ill sister and that the cops might scare her into hurting herself. Taking advantage of the moment, Kyungmi dashes away again. The police find Kyungmi and take her back to Do-shik, believing his story about her being his sister. They even return the knife to him. Once they leave, Kyungmi starts crying and with the little sound she can make, begs him not to kill her because she still has so much to live for. Do-shik, not wanting to do this in public, drags her into a nearby alley. He tells her she almost convinced him but not enough, then prepares to stab her. Just in time, Jong-tak arrives and stops him. The two men fight, and Jong-tak manages to choke Do-shik until he passes out. He then checks on Kyung-mi, assuring her that Seo-young is safe in the hospital and her mother is nearby. But suddenly, Do-shik, who was only pretending to be unconscious, attacks Jong-tak with bottles and trash. Kyung-mi grabs the knife, forcing Do-shik to back off. Instead, he decides to go after her mother. He finds her in a crowded shopping area and tries to lure her into a dark alley. Just then, Kyung-mi arrives, holding the knife. Do-shik mocks her for failing to stab him, but that was her plan all along. She stabs herself while placing the knife in his hands, making it look like he attacked her. The crowd sees this and turns against him, ignoring his protests. The police arrive and fire a warning shot, but Do-shik doesn't stop. They shoot him twice, but he keeps going. Kyung-mi flips him off, provoking him further. Just as he tries to attack again, Seo-young arrives and tackles him to the ground, finally killing him. Days later, Kyung-mi and her mother finally take the beach vacation they always dreamed of. Seo-young and Jong-tak join them, showing that they've been learning sign language. The four of them take a picture together, marking a happy ending. Thank you for watching. Now if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and comment your thoughts on this.